Terry.
What?
We are just going to be friends, okay?
Great, friends. It's the best thing. You realize, of course, that we could never be friends.
Why not?
What I'm saying is, and this is not a come on in any way, shape, or form, is that men and women can't be friends because the sex part always gets in the way.
That's not true. I have a number of men friends and there is no sex involved.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You only think you do.
You're saying I'm having sex with these men without my knowledge?
No, what I'm saying is they all want to have sex with you.
They do not.
Do too.
They do not.
Do too.
How do you know?
Because no man can be friends with a woman that he finds attractive. He always wants to have sex with her.
So you're saying that a man can be friends with a woman he finds unattractive?
No, you pretty much want to nail them too.
What if they don't want to have sex with you?
Doesn't matter, because the sex thing is already out there, so the friendship is ultimately doomed, and that is the end of the story.
Well, I guess we're not going to be friends then.
Guess not. Staying over?
Yes.
Would you like to have dinner? Just friends.
I thought you didn't believe men and women could be friends.
When did I say that?
On the ride to New York.
No, I never said that. Yes, that's right. They can't be friends. Unless both of them are involved with other people, then they can. This is an amendment to the earlier rule. If the two people are in relationships, the pressure of possible involvement is lifted. That doesn't work either, because what happens then is the person you're involved with can't understand why you need to be friends with the person you're just friends with. Like it means something is missing from the relationship and why do you have to go outside to get it? Then when you say, no, it's not true, nothing is missing from the relationship, the person you're involved with then accuses you of being secretly attracted to the person you're just friends with, which you probably are. I mean, come on, who the hell are we kidding? Let's face it. Which brings us back to the earlier rule before the amendment, which is men and women can't be friends. So where does it leave us?
Harry?
What?
Goodbye.
Okay.
This is a Silk exclusive.
Welcome to another episode of Words, Music, Dance. I'm your host as always, Paulie the Bull, no relation to Gravano. Shout out to everybody listening, shout out to everybody watching. You know I appreciate you. Hi, Mom. Welcome back. It's been a while since we've done this. Not too long. We got a little more consistent with it. Life be life and things happen, but we've been giving a couple episodes for the summer. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of summer, my man Rel been on tour. He been out and about. He took a trip to the motherland. Visited. I seen the Instagram. He was out and about, so we missed you for a couple episodes. But it's, glad to have you back. You know what I'm saying? Glad to have you back on. Steph is here as well. John is here as well. We've had you guys on recently, so nice seeing y'all again as well. No disrespect, you know what I'm saying? But we here. We go, get these topics in like we always do. Today's episode, John brought a lot of this to the table. I can't take full credit on the topic, but I never mind when things are brought to the table for us to discuss. I'm open to have any and all conversations, and I think we're gonna have a good one today. Voice cracking and whatnot, excuse me. But we can start with this Instagram post picture that I'll send to everyone. Basically, a list of the least attractive hobbies for men according to women. So, Steph, I sent it to you. Did I send it? Did you see it?
No.
Let me send it to you real quick, just so you can get a live reaction to the silliness. Hold on, there we go. Obviously, John, you saw it. So I got it up right now. So, Rel, you should be receiving the link as I kind of read these things off. But we got, number one on the list is there's an unattractive score to it. So we'll start from the least, I guess. So 50 points is bird watching. I don't know what man does bird watching.
What kind of birds you talking?
That's how you find the girls. You got to watch the bird, you know what I'm saying? But number two with 55 points is comic book collecting. I think those chicks are just hating because comic book movies is the #1 movies right now. Like, it's called research, man. It's called research. Uh, number three is taxidermy.
Taxidermy.
60 points. What's taxidermy again?
That's
when you stuff stuff.
Animals. You stuff
Stuffed
animals.
heads.
Yeah.
One, is that a hobby? That's a job.
I mean, it is. It is.
No, yeah, for people who like
collect
to
that. You know,
hunt.
people collect it.
Yeah.
I'm mad that's not higher on the list though compared to other
You feel
shit.
me? Next one on the list is gambling.
Now you skip building model trains.
Oh, I'm sorry, building model trains.
Yeah.
That was the point.
That is, you're right, and that was relaxing. That's calming. It's, you know what I'm saying. You know, I don't know. The next one on the list was gambling. Depends on how far. Are they losing rent money on it? Are you know what I'm saying? Like, Ma, you're not complaining when I make that money. You know what I'm saying? When this parlay hit,
It's wild to me.
You going shopping.
It's even wild that gamblers on the list. To me.
Yeah. And then online trolling. I think that's unattractive from all men and women.
I think that's whack in general.
Yeah. Magic tricks is next on the list.
Magic tricks is tough, bro.
You want me to put these roses out my sleeve real quick?
That one got 80 points.
No.
The next one is collecting figurines. I mean, if it's them Pops figures, them joints is worth money. You know, you get some antiques, some collectibles. We saving for the fun, you know, for the kids and things. And number one on the list is playing video games. So
over taxidermy, bro.
So Steph,
Crazy.
as the only female here right now, the only woman on the call right now, please talk to me. How do you feel about this list in general? Like, talk to me. What do you think about that?
Yeah, as far as like, first of all, there's so many other hobbies out there that I feel are more common for like, I guess where I live or where you guys live, that's not on there. But there's of course like people, you know, it sounds like a ridiculous concept, but like there's hobbies that you are attracted to. Like if a girl is like this or if she doesn't like to do that. Video games are by far, like when I first heard the question, by far the first thing I would say is video games are unattractive. To John, I think that John's point earlier, like talking about like the masculinity and stuff, I could see girls thinking taxidermy is kind of hot because it's like very masculine. It's like a man that like.
Did you watch them kill them animal?
If you're raised in the woods, I could see it like that. Remember, I'm in Florida, so people do hunt out here. It's not my thing, but I'm sure there's a school of women that are into that. And then what was the other thing? Collecting. I think collecting's pretty cool, regardless of what you collect. I think when you collect things, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be interested into stuff like that. Like Danny has a bunch of Yankee stuff, like what are they called? The Fantastic Four? The Core Four. There you go. Hey, guys.
Okay.
The Core Four. So like those back in the day Yankees, like I get him a lot of stuff like that. He likes that stuff. I think that stuff is pretty interesting. But yeah, video games is I just wouldn't generally like that personality and my personality. I've never dated a guy that was into video games, and I know people that are, and it generally kind of, I could see their girlfriends dealing with issues about it and stuff, so I could see it being really annoying.
I think women hate video games because it takes the attention away from them.
Into my opinion, and anybody could dispute this, but like that's like scrolling through TikTok. Like if your girl was always on like Instagram, it's kind of mindless or kind of like a getaway, but just like anything, like for instance, gambling. I would never, ever want to date somebody that has an issue gambling because you could see how it easily turns into an issue. The more money you make, the worse it is. Like I've been to a casino like twice. And even me, like I'm winning and I'm getting this rush and then I lose and I feel like I have to win the money back. It's a lot of up and down and mental gymnastics.
That's why I said it's weird that's even on the list because it's like
for someone to indulge in, generally speaking, it's not something I'm gonna want in somebody.
I mean, the way I look at it though, they said hobbies. Like they're not saying someone who's stuck like you know, you hear them dudes who like play Call of Duty for 10 hours at a time and like they said hobbies. So like when I look at it, like yo, like damn, dudes can't even have a hobby. Like you can't collect combos, you can't collect figures, you can't have a. I'm not saying for you, Steph, because obviously you said you don't mind collecting, but in general, like yo, like guys don't have much. Like to me, like going to the gym, boxing, MMA, like those those are a fitness thing you do for your health, but they're not always a hobby. Like they're saying you do for your health. I mean, they're saying you're putting, like some females do yoga. They do that, like you have your own things you do. But when it comes to a hobby, men don't have a lot. So like going to play ball with the guys, playing video games, collecting stuff, like, you know, going to live sport events. Like we only have certain things that are part of a hobby. So to see that, I was like, damn, like, and then to see that how that taxidermist and bird watching, we're down here. But if a dude play video games or collects figures or comic books, he's up here. Like, that's crazy.
Gotta play a game about taxidermy.
Yo, the dude playing the video games and collecting comic books is probably less likely to be in your friend's DMs. Like he's probably doing his own thing, just chilling.
He's home.
Plus, he probably makes good money.
He's not out in these streets. He's home.
He's not out in these
streets. In the
streets.
living room. He's right there. You know what I'm saying? So that at least you know where your man is at.
Yeah, you know where he at all the time.
What I noticed about the list though, like it's like with video games, to John's point, like you could get hooked into it. Video games do become addictive and do become an issue for more people than not. Like, yo, it's cool. Like Danny has one of these gaming systems that he'll come and play like NBA, one of them NBA games. But then there's these dudes that are like violently playing Call of Duty with their headsets and have like whole ass kids, you know, and they're screaming like, I'm gonna fuck your fucking mother. And then, you know, in their headphones.
I don't say that, but you know, I don't do that. But
yo, Robbie talking to you, he'd be like, really, motherfucker?
Sometimes you gotta,
no, it gets wild on the
absolutely.
It gets wild.
To quote Kendrick Lamar, sometimes you got to pop out and show niggas.
Right?
So, I mean, you know.
No, but I agree. Like, but again, I'm talking about like hobby. To me, hobby means you do it in moderation. Like, it's not it's not an addiction. So, that's like, to me, it's like, you know, as you pointed out, Steph, like, I mean, there's man girls I know that they're on Instagram all day, TikTok all day. Like, you spend 10 hours scrolling through TikTok, but I spent 4 hours playing a video game, and I'm the bad guy. It's like, and again, I'm not talking about you, Steph. I'm talking in general.
Oh no,
you know,
absolutely.
The way they look at things, because I hear, like, because even myself, I used to be a big gamer, but I barely play games anymore. I mean, Paul and Otto, I both shit on me because I still haven't beat Red Dead Redemption 2, and that's like 10 years ago that game came out. Because I don't play them anymore. Like, I don't really have the time. But to see, I have a lot of friends play video games, and they're good dudes. To hear that they'd be eliminated off a list because they play video games is like, what do you want these men to do to kill their time, to get that anger, that violence out, or the peacefulness, or whatever you want? Like, it's that time so they could draw their attention to something that's not the real world.
You see,
absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, for me, like, this would be a difficult topic in general for me, because I feel like everybody's life and who they are has balances. This might get a little deeper. So, like, everything that you enjoy, things that you do, all contribute to your life balance and your energy. So I feel like I would never judge male or female, nobody's hobby, unless it was destructive to them or destructive to their family, or whatever the case may be. If you find balance and peace doing that, then do it. Whatever it is. I don't gotta like it, because it's your hobby. Like, I it doesn't matter how I feel. And I don't care what women how they feel about any hobby I have. Like, I don't care. You like it and love it. I care zero, because it's my hobby, and it's something I do to keep myself up. If keep myself at a certain level, I'm sure I could find stuff that you do, not you, Steph. I'm telling you, a woman that I don't resonate with, and I'm like, you're wasting your time, whatever. But I don't have to understand it, because it's not my hobby, and I won't form an opinion about it. I would not disqualify anyone. I'm not looking at, like, you know, now did this. She said, "Well, what I like to do when I'm bored is sniff coke and, you know, and shoot lines." You know, I mean, okay, that might be a hobby.
Like my Saturday.
Might be a hobby I might want to stray away from, but like, for anybody to judge me or anything that I like to do for me, to me is wild. So, like, you know, if you're gonna take me off a list because I do that, you're doing me the favor. Because if that's your wavelength for doing that, then take me off, please. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like how I kind of look at that. Like, everybody has their thing. If it's not taking you off your focus to better yourself, or affecting your family, or case may be, then to me nothing's out of bounds. That's why, like, gambling to me is not a hobby. If you're a good gambler, it can't be a hobby, because it takes too much focus, too much time.
Yeah.
Too much, you know what I'm saying? It can't be a hobby. That's something that you do. Like, gambling is you know what I'm saying? So that's why I thought that was kind of weird to even be on the list. But I feel like everything's cool if it's not hurtful. You know, we're not all like, Paul may have a hobby that I'm like, well, nah, I ain't doing that. you know, but I'm not gonna say I think Paul is corny because he likes to do that, you know, like nah, like it's just not me, you know what I'm saying?
I think that there's a person out there for everybody. I don't think any of it is like disqualifying somebody because I'm not somebody's dream girl, but I am, you know, somebody's dream girl at the same time. He's really into sports. I'm like a hippie little writer that like loves God and you know, he loves sports and he's a hard worker and I'm like a little dreamer and like it melds well together. You know what I mean? Like he's like such a sturdy to me. That's what I'm into. I like masculine, like really masculine men. You know what I mean? So my man's not gonna really sit playing video game. You know, like you said, it's to anybody's judgment. I live in Florida. There are people, you know, that might be into taxidermy because they want to see what this man picked up because their daddy used to hunt. You know, it's all like there's somebody for everybody. Like when I moved out here, and I talk about this a lot, it's a little rearing off the subject, but it goes to the point. Like when I first moved out here, I hated Florida so much. And I just couldn't understand. I thought everything should have been like New York, trains everywhere and everything. So when I was a senior in high school, I went to a party, right? And I went in some fresh Jordans. And I got my Jordans dirty because it was in a field and there were like longhorns there, a bonfire and everything. Yo, I look back on that and I wish I would have indulged in that moment a little bit more, but that was not the way I grew up. I was a city girl, you know what I mean? Like I was from the city. So, and then like I was like, all these girls, and then you hear these like Luke Bryan country songs and stuff like that, where it's like the girl hanging out on their first kiss in the pickup truck. And that's like a completely different reality than I would ever experience. But it's a cool reality for somebody. The girl that's scrolling Instagram and likes to create content might not mind her man being with the game for 2.5 hours. That's his hobby. I like watching my man play soccer, play baseball. We go on kickball leagues together. So it's like whatever works for you. There's somebody for everybody. But in no way do I think, like Jarrell said, should a hobby ever be like disqualifying for anybody? Like nobody should feel like shit because of a hobby they have, unless, like he said, you're like shooting heroin or something, you know.
And I think the biggest thing I would ask to the people that made the list, or you know, to the women that you know that agree with a lot of those things, like, what's the correlation? You know, you're against this because why? What does it mean?
Well, you know, it's funny. I've heard the video game thing lots of times, and every time I've asked what's the correlation, there's always a narrative built. So it's like, why don't you want a man who has a hobby of playing video games? Instead of their reasoning will be making a story like, well, because then when I be cooking the food, he's on the game for 19 hours. You just made all that up. We didn't say that somebody does that. Why we're saying the act of playing video games, why is that bad? Now, some of them might have had prior experiences where there was somebody who did have that take up too much of their time, where they was neglecting their job or neglecting them, whatever the case may be. But you know, in our past experiences can leave, you know, bad taste in our mouths about certain things. But from what I understand, from what I was conversations I had, it wasn't necessarily where they went through that. They just have this stigma in this picture that they don't really understand because they don't indulge. So they're building this off of what they hear and what's happening to other people and using that to form their bias against it. That's what's been my experience every time I've asked that type of question about.
Right. And as I said, that's a conversation that I definitely would be willing to have. Like, you know, we can get more women to comment and share their thoughts on it. And, you know, we got Steph's perspective on it. But again, like Steph said, it's not as major as a killer. You know, she's more
not
into,
like a deal breaker,
yeah, it's not the deal breaker, but apparently for some, a lot of those things are. You know, and I would just like to break down each one and see, like, what's the correlation? What does that mean? You know, because this, and like John said, if it's a hobby, a lot of times it's that me time.
Right.
You know, it's that time where you're not there or you're doing something. Why can't he do something? Why does that become unattractive that he's doing this?
Because you don't align with it, or that's not your thing, or what
but it's his time. He's getting some. You're doing what you're doing. He's having his moment, and he wants to do what have you. He wants to gamble. He wants to play a video game. He wants to stuff an animal, do a magic trick.
Right.
The
Oh,
abracadabra, ho.
magic trick. That is the magic trick. I agree with.
That's unattractive.
Yo, if he takes a fucking quarter from behind my ear on a date, that's wild.
You're not impressed?
Oh,
Abracadabra, ho.
But no,
You
I
saying
feel
it-
like I feel like
You said if
If
your
I'm
man
a-
pulled out roses real quick out the sleeve and gave you
no,
some roses,
I
you would
feel
be like,
like
oh my
if
God,
I'm gonna do
roses.
that, if I'm gonna do a magic for him, it's gonna be something that's gonna blow her mind. It ain't gonna be
yo,
no corner behind
seriously.
her ear. It's gonna be like something wild. Like she's gonna be like, "What the like?"
If I pull some flowers out the back of your head, a bouquet.
And you know what's crazy?
For the lady.
You know what's crazy is Danny likes magic, and he has like an uncle that used to be like a magician.
See?
Okay.
If he
We're
removed,
15 years together. 15 years together, we'll still crack on him if it comes up. So
You saying if you and Danny are out and it's cold and he pulls out a bunch of scarves.
I'd be like, yo, where you got that shit from?
It's
Why
magic.
you,
Can't tell
why
me.
are you doing that?
You would be amazed.
he's going
That
I'd
was-
be like,
They come
cut
equipped.
that out and put your arm around me.
Danny's gonna do a magic trick to remove your drawers. You didn't realize he did
Look,
that.
boom, pow.
Well, excuse me, Mr. Big Arms over here, just coming in like that. What the hell?
Magic. Now again,
Magic.
yeah, if it's on the first date or he does that, yeah. But again, if we're talking hobbies, back to John's point, if it's a hobby, that's something on the side. That's something. Again, it's a little weird that that's your hobby. But hey, to each their own. You want to become a magician? You rock with David Blaine and Chris Angel and them. And
Yeah, like if you did David Blaine level magic, like
Yeah,
come
David
on.
Blaine, that's
Like,
hot,
I mean, like,
yeah.
that hobby
Oh, wait,
becomes
so hold
your
on.
career.
The level of the magic depends now on the. That's come on. That's not,
Like if you're willing to stay in an ice sculpture and manage to regulate your body temperature for 36 hours, that's mind fuckery. That's
Yeah.
not magic.
you're asking for a lot for a first date.
right?
I'm gonna put these rings together, and that's gonna be it.
You're
Steph,
like,
Put a strap in.
have you ever been on a date and you asked the guy, you're like, what do you do for fun? What do you, and he said, oh, magic? Has he said magic tricks? Have you ever heard that? Like, I don't think any man is bringing that up on it. Oh, I do, in my spare time, I do magic.
But I forgot why. But there could be dudes who that is hobby. Why do you think they don't say that? Because it's gonna come out eventually. Why do you think they don't answer that question?
Because I don't think it's a hobby. Now, he might do it for, he might be a magician. He do parties and things, so there might be more to it. Like,
then that's not a hobby. At that
it's a
Yeah, but
side
that's not-
job.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I do kids parties, and I make the balloons and I do magic. Like, that could be a side hustle more than a hobby. That's what I'm saying. Like I think John said, like, the definition, like, what do they consider a hobby? What do they consider, like, because some of these things are more than a hobby. They could be something lucrative. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
What
like,
video
even like
games?
Video
Kids is
games
playing.
can be very
Yeah,
I
like
was
they
gonna
got
say, yeah, dudes making
E-leagues and
bread.
stuff, and
yeah.
them figurines. You can make some money out of that. Now, online trolling, there's no profit in that at all.
That's crazy.
That's not a hobby. You are a loser.
If you create
Online
your
trolling,
content, that's the basis of your content. Maybe it is.
yeah, online trolling should be number one. You are a loser if that's your hobby. Oh, I just troll online. Get a life, buddy.
I just told a 13-year-old he's XYZ. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah, building model trains. Jared, we got you here for this one. Jared, you got a model train, and your kid, that's put you on the spot. I don't laugh. Model trains got 65 points for least attractive hobby for men according to women. Talk to me, Jared.
I don't care about them hoes. I don't care about them hoes. They don't pay my bills. They don't pay my bills.
Do you tell women that that's a hobby of yours, or?
Nah, it's just one of those things you happen to see it in my house. You see it in my house, but it's not like because there's one thing like there's levels to hobbies and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm going to be that person who has my model train and put my little Lionel freight train hat on and get in gear and start running my trains and have a create a whole scenario. I'm not doing all that. Like,
Tell me you don't let the whole conductor shoot at home?
okay, that was my job. Doesn't mean I don't do that. My job. It doesn't mean I put my gear on to do that. Like,
You gotta play dress up sometimes.
Hey, sometimes you gotta get role play, but that's not the case. But nah, like I don't do that, and I mean, like that's one thing. That's what you do, and that's what that's what you do. But like I have a bunch of model trains that like online know stuff from the 80s. I have Legos. That's another one of my hobbies. And I'm pretty sure somebody will have a shit for them about, oh, you play with Legos or you build
Yeah,
Legos. It's
I'm
like,
surprised.
yeah, bitch, I do.
That was
Lucky for
all
you, it's not on the list, so you might be good
yeah.
with that. Chicks dig
But
the Legos. Chicks dig the
Bro,
Legos.
Legos take time and dedication.
I do.
But that brings up a good point. Like, I don't think there's any issue with train building because I feel like it takes like intelligence and it takes patience and
So do
it's like a
video
mind
games.
Be
bender.
Yeah,
surprised.
so do video
Be
games.
Video
surprised
games
about
takes
what
a lot of patience and all of that.
Mhm.
Like
Nah,
I got
that's a lot
my
of dopamine. I think the dopamine response that you're getting out of these hobbies say a lot about the hobbies. Gambling, high in dopamine.
video
This
games gave
one,
me hand-eye
I'm
coordination,
I'm
deductive
pretty
video games, a
sure
lot
reasoning,
of
and
when
dopamine.
Garrett's
But
logic.
done
then
building his Lego set, his dopamine's pretty high.
so here's
Yeah.
some no, but it takes but the release is not as high because he's going for it for such a long time. So that's when you get into like sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Your dopamine, because when you reach the game and you're going for it, like you're releasing dopamine that whole time, and that's why video gaming becomes addicting. But to shift
Depending on what
gears,
games you play.
but to shift gears, some hot hobbies, like because the train building thing, I never met nobody in that like that before. But I guess that's like a pretty cool hobby when we talk about it. Men that learn about weapons for some reason, like men that like learn about
You got Jared's attention. Jared, you attractive. You 2 for 2 so far. You got the trains
okay, me and Jared
and
go way
weapons.
back. No, that's my friend. But like and look at what's up, Jared? How you doing? Look at him. So no, but like guns, like guys that are into guns. I'm in Florida, so that goes back into that. Like that's not no political thing, but I like a man that wants to like protect and wants that control. And yeah, everybody can say, "Oh, wait, what if you want?" You know what I'm talking about. There's a demographic of men that are armed and they're proud to be armed, and
I learned how to shoot playing Duck Hunt on Nintendo.
they continue to further their skills and they educate. That's like a really productive, awesome hobby for men. Another thing is people that indulge in the arts. Like any man that's like a dancer, writer, musician, anything like that, and then athletics. But what do you guys think are some deal breakers for women?
I don't have women deal breaker hobbies. Like I mean, there's definitely some hobbies that like I would be more interested in like learning about because that's what me when I'm connecting with somebody, I want to know their hobbies because like they're probably gonna have stuff that I don't know anything about. And then I can learn from you then. You know what I'm saying? So I might there could be something like, well, I like to watch, let's say I like to watch reality TV all the time. I think that's kind of like that's not my thing. But then I don't know what type of shows you mean. So like you could be watching something, I could be watching stuff with you and learning. You could tell me that you like to knit. And I'm like, oh, what are you, 75? But then you might show me something about knitting that I didn't know. And I'm like, wow, so now I'm gaining knowledge. If I just was cut off from there's nothing that you can get out of knitting or there's nothing, and I might even have no openness to it, then because like a lot of things that you saying you like, that was cool that you like that, but that was definitely just personal about those type of things. The things you name, I'm sure there's a lot of women like that also like those things. But
yeah, I think it's a big majority. That's why I added like, and that's if you like masculine men. I also put in the arts.
But I mean, I know masculine men who they'll come home from work and they shoot niggas all night on Call of Duty, and they know about guns because you learned about guns playing Call of Duty. You might not own any of these guns, but you could go to. But people that know guns, they can go to a trade show and start talking about it. People think, well, how many guns you have? None. I got them all on Call of Duty. But yet I spilled all the same fucking knowledge you did a second ago, though.
But then no real shit, then you're not the real thing. When it comes to Call of Duty knowledge,
he didn't go there and say, "Hey,
Well,
look."
hold on.
He didn't say he was.
So hold on. I disagree with this because personally, so for our sharpshooting, when we get tested, I got 97 out of 100 using the scope and using the iron sights on my gun, and I learned how to shoot from Call of Duty. I beat all these white boys and rednecks that go hunting. I beat all of them when I got trained for. I get qualified every year, and I beat all those white boys that go hunting.
it's
So
hard to say
I learned that from Call of Duty.
It's hard to say what people can get from anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to say what it takes to do anything. Like, you look at certain things, you say it takes intelligence or whatever the case may be, and then in your mind, you don't extend that to video games. But they're, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you play them, but there are very complex games that if you don't have intelligence, you are not playing them. Like, or you're going to sit there like a dummy in front of the game. Like, I mean, to sell any of these things short without having that knowledge that like it's you could do that with anything, and that's why I don't do that. When a woman tells me their hobby and it's something that I don't like, I don't sell it short, because unless I know it, if I do it too, I watch my sister do it her life, then I'll have that knowledge to be like, no, that shit is like, why are you wasting your time, whatever. But if I don't know what that's like, I can't discount it, and I like this, and it's something you get something out of it. You know what I'm saying? And I want to explore that.
I mean, I look at it like, so for me personally, cause I dabble in all of it. I collect figures, I collect Funko Pops, I collect comic books, I collect guns, I work on my car. Like, a lot of women find working on your car being with your hands manly. I work on my car. I'm building a classic car right now. But I was surprised that you said masculine things like art, because I paint and I do poetry and I do music, but those aren't usually looked at as masculine things. Painting and poetry aren't.
When I said that, I was excluding the artist portion, because I did realize when I generally said a lot of them were masculine, but the artists also because of the intelligence and the emotional depth, like painting. Painting's awesome. Like, and I'm blown away by people that know how to paint, bro. Like, and that's just, but like I said earlier, that's just me. But yeah, that one was the one thing that wasn't as masculine, but it's because it's so creative and expansive. I like that, so that's why I mentioned
speaking from experience though, I could break apart my AR-15, put it back together, no problem. And I'm more proud of putting together my Lego sets than I am of putting it back, breaking my gun apart. So it all depends on the person and what they're into. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could have an intruder come in and like look at all my toys. Meanwhile, I got them in my sights with no problem. So it really depends on where you're raised and what you're into. But to answer your question, I kind of agree with Jarrell overall. I don't think there is really a trait in a female that I would find a hobby like, oh, that's boring. The only thing that I kind of get disengaged from is when they're constantly stuck on social media, where they can't live without social media. Like, anyone who knows me knows that I'll have an Instagram up for like 3 months, and then I'll get rid of my Instagram for a year, and then I'll get back on for 3 months, and then I'll get, like, I don't need to have it. When you need to have it and you need to send things every day and post every day and be on every day, like, you need to have it, that's kind of unattractive in my opinion. But
yeah, sorry, good job. Go ahead.
So let's leave it there for now. Ladies that are listening and watching, please let us know how you feel about these. Are these deal breakers? Do you date a guy that does any of these things? Do you how do you feel about it? You agree, disagree?
Give Magic a chance.
Because you never know. You might be missing out on somebody that, play some video games. These e-gamers is really up here, you know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes is making some money. They're considered athletes. But let's move on to the next topic. Last couple episodes, we had a conversation about Chris Brown and his meet and greets and the pictures and how some may perceive them, how it broke up a relationship, kind of, we delved on that. You can watch those episodes back. You can get the whole thing on 2021vision.com, all on YouTube. You can check all that out. But going back for a second, we want to also talk about another hug or another, moment that the internet kind of went crazy about. Jonathan Majors, Meagan Good, they're in a relationship. They're a couple. They're together. And Michael Ealy, someone she did some movies and things with, work husband, I guess, whatever. Saw them wherever they was at an event. Mike, now again, the video kind of got, edited and people didn't see that first, but Mike daps up Jonathan Majors first. Give him a little dap. What's good, brother? How you doing? Girl! Turns to Meagan, gives her a big hug, lifts her off her feet, you know what I'm saying? Give it a little shimmy. Then daps up everybody else. Oh, y'all see y'all. What's good?
What's up, baby? How you doing? Good to see you, man. Everything good? How you doing, Mike? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Y'all want to do this? Yeah, real quick. This is fire. Love this. Love this. Dion will love this. Absolutely. I'm more. What do you guys feel? Was it inappropriate?
Do you feel Jonathan felt the way about it? How do you feel? You know, talk to me. Steph, again, as the lone lady here, we definitely got to get your perspective. So, what did you think about the hug, the moment, that situation right there?
I didn't think it was that inappropriate.
Okay, straight to the point. Rel, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think so either. Especially being that he definitely set what up to do first, and their relationship, as far as I'm referring to Ealy and Good, goes back years. You know, who knows when the last time they see each other? They could have been genuinely really excited to to see each other. For he was very excited to see her, and she clearly didn't feel that he was acting inappropriate because she gave him the same energy that that he was giving her. And homeboy was I don't think Jonathan Majors felt the way at all. From looking at him, I think people try to build the narrative like he was wilding and or whatever because they might be projecting how they might feel if that were to happen. But you know, it's like two friends that was mad hyped to see each other.
Jared, what's your thoughts on the hug in the moment?
I mean, Internet makes a great deal of showing everybody's insecurities, but and it wasn't that big of a deal. You know, I mean, I think if it wasn't an edited part and you just saw from where you saw like the clip cut from, all right, maybe you know you can feel somebody really getting their feelings about it. But I mean, once you start seeing the actual footage of it, it wasn't a big deal. It was just, you know, it's like that big brother, you know, like little sister thing. It's like, you know, like I've worked with you, like we've had a great working relationship for a long time, so it wasn't a big deal.
John, give me your thoughts, and I'll be right back.
So, when I kind of like what Jared said, when the internet first talked about it, I was like, I'm thinking that Michael Ealy like lifted her up, like legs around his waist, like they made it sound crazy. They made it sound crazy. And I was like, nah, never in my life. And I was like, Jonathan Majors didn't kill this dude? That's crazy. Then when I watched it, I was like, it wasn't that serious. When I watched it, I was like, damn, it wasn't that serious. However, that being said, I still don't want no dude lifting my shorty in the air, like, regardless, because he's next going in the air. Like, this shit don't work that way, at least for me. We all have different ways of handling things, but I look at it differently. So, but to play devil's advocate, Steph, would you mind if your man picked up a shorty and was like, oh?
Well, to
like
be completely honest, and Jarrell, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's a lot like what me and Jarrell's hello.
I was about to make that example because I like, you know, because of the distance, I don't get to see Stephanie in person often. So when we do see each other, it's like that. So
and it's all love with him and Danny too.
I'm about to say it's like that in front of Danny. Like, you know, like I remember one time they came up here, I met them in this spot in Queens. And, you know, like I drove over there, it's like, because everybody knows what it is, you know what I'm saying? And everybody, like me and Steph, just like, she go back like y'all go back. We all know each other from Best Buy or whatever, you know, so it goes back that long. So, I mean, I don't know.
So I get it, but that's still you lifting Steph up. I was asking Steph if it was okay if Danny lifted a shorty and was like,
we do have friends, considering this is in a context where the other significant other was regarded as well. We do have friends that Danny say hi if he hasn't seen them in a long time, give him a big old hug. Like Danny's a big guy, and it's just friendly. So yeah, like as far as that goes, it's not, you know, in that context, it's not much of an issue. And it could be innocent, it could be friendly.
I got you. I mean, I do look at things differently. Like me personally, on the opposite end as a man, my shorty, if I'm with my shorty, if a girl's there that I know, I'm gonna stand my hand out, I'm not kissing her on the cheek, I'm not lifting in the air. I don't care how long we know each other. I'm with my shorty. You're not getting no lift in the air. You're not getting. I don't care how long we know each other. And again, any female who knows me that if I'm with a partner, they can admit I don't kiss on the cheek. I'm gonna shake your hand from forward to extend an arm. Like that's what you're getting. I'm not doing that. Oh my god, like.
But
I'm not doing that out of respect for my shorty.
Y'all friend, like if you guys friends together, you guys have all known each other for because like I said, me and my husband.
Now that's different. If y'all all know each other. If y'all all know each other, that's different. But the scenario from that, at least, it seems like they didn't all know each other.
I mean, well, so to interject that one, I think that also goes to the level of your interaction with somebody. So it's not that you don't have that within you. Is that's the boundary. That's the word I'm trying to find. It's the boundary that you place upon certain things. So I think certain people just have certain feelings towards certain interactions, and knowing the other person, you kind of know the boundary of what you want to set. So I think in that regard, it's so much of like Steph and Danny, that could be their boundary. Like she doesn't have a problem with that, or he may not have a problem with that. But that's something that has to be talked about, or at least understood, emotionally and connect on that. John's, your interaction is different. It's like, people who know me know this is my boundary. When I'm with my girl, this is how the boundary that I set. So I think it really just goes to boundary and level of understanding.
And I think that's a bit of what we
100%.
spoke with the whole Chris Brown thing as well. We kind of spoke on that as well, setting the boundaries, knowing your significant other, how they would perceive it, having that conversation, how does this look? How do we feel about this? In my opinion, and I don't know Jonathan, Meagan, or Michael, to me, it looked like Jonathan felt a little way about it. The body language looked a little awkward, and he looked fidgety. It's like one of those, let me find something to do to occupy my time in this awkward moment, because I want to beat the shit, but I already got a case, and I got to kind of, so I'm gonna put these glasses, I'm put the phone in it. Like he's fidgety, and it's like, let me do something, because my girl's legs is in the air going yee wee.
But you know what though?
Can I say something?
Oh, I got.
Go ahead, Jerome.
What I think that also could be is it could be awkwardness, but it could be this type of awkwardness. I really don't have a problem with this, but all these niggas watching me is probably saying, how in the world is he letting that happen? And because I'm not secure of myself to be like, I don't care what y'all think about what's happening. Now I'm in my head about like, yo, what are people gonna say when they watch a video of a nigga lifting up?
Because again, he has a case pending, and when you're in the public eye, so I agree, definitely awkwardness. But to add to the point, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, Steph, but I feel like it was an issue with the hug and stuff as well, because even when they did the group picture, he put his arm around D Smoke, not Meagan, and that look was telling to me. That was telling. He didn't hug his girl in the picture. I'm gonna bring them in, because I feel this is pissing me off right here. I'm gonna come over here. So the body language to me, where he reached and what he went to, I didn't reach for my girl. I reached for the homies over here.
I agree.
That was telling to me a little bit. That you know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not a body language expert, but the show is called Words, Music, Dance. The dance is body language, and that's 50% of communication. And when you communicate by reaching the other way, not to your girl. People talk about it all the time. When women give you a hug, do they hug you and step back? Do they come in? Like, you can tell by where someone reaches or where their body leans to. And he leaned away from her and reached for D Smoke instead of Meagan. Mm-hmm. It's an uncomfortableness in that follow-up. That was for the group picture. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part that stood out to me, is like he and again, like I said, it could be too, like I said, I just got found guilty on this, and they watch it every move I make. I gotta want to clean right now. I gotta do something. I gotta be occupied with my hands, because I want to, but I'm gonna, so there was a lot going on in that. And again, so Meagan actually commented, she posted on her Instagram following that, and she said, so we're just going to edit out the first part of the video where Jonathan and Michael exchange a big hug first and then speak life over each other.
How was he going to build a narrative?
Before he gives me a big brother hug. LOL, SMH, super unfortunate how people don't have anything better to do than project on others and intentionally perpetuate negative, misguided commentary on life snippets they have no real context to. It's sad. Sigh, but still, God bless y'all. And I agree. Like I said, all we are taking this snippet of their life. We don't know. I'm not saying I do know for a fact, but it looked awkward to him. Now, big brother hug again. Steph and Rel, y'all spoke to that. That's the hug. That's the way you
That's
guys
a
do each other.
perfect, I think that's a perfect assessment of what it feels like. And like, it's like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. Me and Jarrell have been friends. We live far away. He knows my I mean, this guy knows my mom. My mom was joking that he was going to be her date to my wedding. Like, that's exactly what it feels like. And I wanted to lean into, since you were speaking on body language, as a girl, and we could say all the judgment, just because everybody has different boundaries. Everybody has a different way they're taking up. We all live a life. A big thing about me and Danny, when I speak to me and Danny's relationship, is that we were together our whole 20s. And I'm 35 now. So that's a lot of growing ups and downs and getting to know that person in that environment. So, but with that being said, to speak to the body language when he hugs her, and this is something like Jarrell could probably speak to as well, her feet don't wrap around his leg. Both her legs don't go up. She kicks her legs back, which as a woman, I can honestly say, it consciously is something you do to not send the wrong message. When you are being scooped up in that big brotherly hug, she was probably really excited to see him as well. And, I think it is the responsibility of the relationship. Danny always knew what kind of friend Jarrell was to me. Me and Jarrell got close over me and Danny's relationship. But like, I think, you know who you're dealing with, you know what you're working with. And as far as he goes, he's been in the picture for a very short period of time. And I think that does play a role in it as well. Because aren't they together like less than a year? So doesn't like a friendship kind of supersede that?
In timeline, yeah. As far as what it means to her, I don't know. That you have to ask her. But
Right.
But the length of time, 100%. Yeah.
And
Well,
like
I
you
mean,
said,
even-
it was a big brother hug. That's
You know,
what
even
I think it depends though, because like, so I don't think relationship or friendship should supersede one another. It depends on the boundaries set, like we were talking before, when it comes to boundaries, because you could be friends with someone for 10 years, but if your current person that you're with for a year, 9 months, 6 months, who you might be with for the rest of your life has certain boundaries, then you still have to respect those boundaries over that 10-year friendship. Vice versa, if you have a dude you've been with for 10 years, but there's certain boundaries they were okay with, then that dude you only know him for 2 months that you're friends with can be allowed to maybe lift you up like that, and it's no problem, because it all depends on the boundaries. But I don't think the longevity of the relationship, whether it's the friendship or the relationship, should matter. It should matter on the boundaries that are set. However, I think that your partner's boundaries should matter more than your friend's boundaries, because at the end of the day, you want a life with your partner and not with your friend.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I think that in this context, with them being in several movies together, their friendship expanding such a long period of time, and then Meagan Good coming fresh out of a divorce. This is her first public boyfriend since her divorce, I believe. I think I think it plays a role. Perhaps it's the first time this has ever come up, or perhaps this isn't the first time it's come up, because she has a lot of male co-stars, a lot of handsome male co-stars in the past in her movies. I mean, and I don't think any man is saying, oh my God, somebody scooped you up and hugged you, being Meagan Good. Oh, I don't want nothing to do with that, because she is such a socialite,
And again, like we said, like a lot of, their life is playing out in front of the cameras. Like you said, we know about her divorce. We also know about his, I guess you could call it, bad breakup situation he had with his ex-girlfriend. And we know, from his situation, the night he was, got into the altercation with his ex-girlfriend, he was texting another woman. We still don't know if it was Meagan, but he was texting somebody else. So all that stuff comes into play. So the internet's going to run with the narratives. They're going to create narratives, and what I'm saying. So we don't know. We all perceive it and see it differently. We all have our perspective on it, and I feel Megan's response is a response she has to make. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's truthful. I feel she believes it, but it's like in the situation, she said what she's supposed to say. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just a spin on it to put her, it was a big brother hug, what have you. That's all it was. Y'all bugging. We get it, but the internet going internet, and we converse about it. We have these conversations. What happened, Jack?
That was, I'm saying, like, that was, and it's funny we're bringing this up, because that was also when the last time I saw Steph, was somewhere in Queens, and you and Danny were not together all that long, and I wasn't sure how to interact because there are I don't know I don't know this dude. I don't know if he has that boundary of knowing, hey, he like he's been like a big part of my life. I don't know, and some guys may not even care about that. So even I was like how do I interact? And it's kind of weird because like I don't know the boundaries set into that shit too. Like so there are certain things where it's like you may know of the person, but it's like okay, now you see this person and even though you may have an understanding of who the person is, like Jonathan Majors may know the how like what Ealy is to her or whatever, but when you still see them in the presence, people can still feel a certain way, about it.
I agree with that. I normally gauge those type of like if I don't somebody's my really good friend and I'm just meeting like their significant other for the first time or whatever, I normally let my friend's energy dictate everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like because I know Danny, so I know Danny's not gonna feel, so that's whatever. But don't get me wrong. There's no situation where I'm not gonna be myself. That situation doesn't exist. So I'm gonna show my friend love. I don't give a fuck who you are, bro. But the level where how far that I am gonna be, because if this is my friend, if this is somebody I see as my friend, I don't
I'm
have
not going to be different, right? Not to be different
in their relationship. So I'm gonna let I'm gonna show my love. I'm gonna let her dictate like how energy that is, because she knows him and I don't. So like I normally how I gauge that.
And that's what I was gonna say is also like Jared, what you're talking about is when you saw me for my 25th birthday. And I had my whole family out, and me and Danny were together for like 3 years. And the thing is, I know how like I have a powerful energy, so like I'll move about it, and people are usually really good about following that. I'm not gonna disrespect my man, when he was my man. So that's so I'll dictate that, and you could go off the dictation of the person that is in the relationship because that's really who it is on. If I was uncomfortable or if I felt like it was wrong for me and Jarrell to hug, we wouldn't. You know what I mean? If I thought it was inappropriate or if I thought that we had just like that type of friendship where things get a little flirtatious or something like that, then it wouldn't be like that. But that's not what it is. And I think Danny takes comfort in that, knowing that.
Dr. Martin would never let Coretta though.
But like I agree. I mean, it's all boundaries. They all depend on the boundaries and the way you set things. When you're talking to people, when you set things up. Like I said, like me personally, I know my own rules. Like I'm not, if I'm with my partner, I'm not gonna do this and not gonna do that. But at the same time, I have that same boundary for my partner. I expect that same thing. So when in my situation, me being Jonathan Majors, I'm not gonna lift up Charlize Theron and be like, so since I'm not gonna do that, when Michael Ealy go lift you up, you better hold yourself down. I'm like, nah, that ain't happening, homie.
Absolutely.
And to be fair,
that's what I expect, that kind of boundary, but it's already set ahead of time. And that's not an insecurity thing. That's a masculinity thing. It's not neither one of those things. It's like a respect boundary thing.
Right. And Michael Ealy kind of has a rep of being like a sniper. You know what I'm saying? Light skin with the light eyes and the curly hair. So it's like people.
You don't want them trying to major problems though.
Nah.
Boxing serious for Apollo 3.
But like Ealy could beat a sniper, or it takes two to tango, bro. Like
absolutely. But it also it takes one to add issues and conflict too. It only takes one.
There you go. That's the point.
She doesn't have to entertain it for it to be a problem at home, to create a problem at home.
That's my thing. If
I agree,
if he's your friend and he's trying to snipe, then he's not your friend. So.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the main topic of the night.
That segues, yep.
Can women and men be friends? John brought this question to the table. So John, I want you to add the context to your perspective on it, and we can go from there.
So, I mean, I personally had this debate before in general, but it made me actually do like research on it. And there's not only psychiatrists, psychologists, and scientists who have been able to prove psychologically, but also neurologically that men and women, if there's attraction, cannot be just friends if opportunity presents itself. But I wonder people's opinion, because I do feel some people like they look at it and like, oh well, nah, I guess I'm cool with this person. But like for instance, just saying person A, we'd be like, oh, well, I'm cool with person B. They would never. Whole time person B really wants to. Or person B was like, nah, person A is mad cool. I would never. Meanwhile, person A is like, let your man fuck up. Give me the chance. And what happens in the studies, though, in the studies, they've seen that most females are actually very under perceptive to males coming at them. And they don't realize, like, oh, this is actually them coming at them, where men are over perceptive. So, like, for instance, if I'm walking by and Steph holds the door for me and smiles and says, have a good day, most men perceptive are like, oh, she thinks I'm cute. When all Steph was doing was holding the door and being polite. That's all she was doing. Where with men, we hold the door for a female. We're not necessarily trying to hit on them, but if they're a hot female, we're going to take a look. But the female's like, oh, he was being nice. No. And so it came up with this, from the debate, came up with this question, can women and men be friends? But my whole thing is, can they be friends if there's attraction there? That's my whole thing.
What do you guys think about that? If there's a physical attraction. You're talking physical attraction.
Well, physical attraction.
Okay.
So
Steph?
We always let Steph go first. Go ahead, Steph. Go ahead.
No, because I have to think about it. Go ahead.
Okay.
So go ahead. So Rel, go ahead.
I feel like at any point, whether you throw whatever you want to throw on it, a physical attraction, whatever the case may be, I think that, and I didn't do studies, I didn't read studies. So, with whatever these findings are, I'm not going to try to refute them or anything like that. But I could definitely speak from experience. But to me, it all depends with you being honest with yourself. Forget like the other person. Like it starts, with you. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people who take that friendship angle, like who will really at heart have different intentions, but think that's their way in. Now, when we throw on you feeling a real physical attraction to someone, I don't think that, even if you guys have always just done friendly things, I just don't really feel like that is your friend. You know what I'm saying? Like Paul was joking about me having all these bad friends or whatever. I can recognize that a lot of my female friends are beautiful, but I'm not physically attracted to any of them. Like that's not how how I view them. Like that's not how they view me. Let's say they want to tell me something different, but that's not what I get from them. You know what I'm saying? So that is what that is. So I imagine that is one part why it works, but also it's, for me personally as well, is how I value friendship. So my friends, to me, regardless of their gender, are like my family, and I feel like to have friends, real friends in life, those are like gifts. So for me, to jeopardize those things off of me trying to get something physical done or trying to I could never even allow that. So like it's just protecting those relationships is why I'm always very honest with myself, because if I do want to do something like that with somebody, well, that is not, I have the fullest realization that is not my friend, and I will not let them believe that is what this is. Like, if I want that from you, you need to know, like, that's what I want, because that's the only way I'm gonna get it, by letting you know. But I just feel it really starts with just honesty from the person being honest with themselves. But I do, to answer the main question, I don't see how you could be physically attracted to somebody and then and be their friend, and that's really your motive and what you see them as. I don't believe that that's the case.
Jared, I know you got to go soon, so chime in on this real quick before you.
I mean, I can stay on also too, but yeah, I mean, from my experience, yes and no. So I can see the idea to, if you're attracted to somebody, then can you legitimately be somebody's friend? And in the past, so just in my history, I've been attracted to certain people, and I've legit been their friend, and I literally try to keep it at that. Like, at some point, you have to hold yourself accountable to your own actions. You can admit that they're beautiful and so forth. But if you're gatekeeping for yourself, then you're just not really, or if you're saying things that are suggestive, that is leading in a direction of like leave this person, or you're trying to like feed them certain like clips into their head to try to like make them leave that person in hopes of them trying to see you in that light, then that's not legit friendship. That's not even legit information that you're feeding somebody. You can probably give somebody legit information, but if you're doing it for the sake of your own benefit, then that's not real. Um, so I think really it just comes down to how much do you hold yourself accountable to your own actions. Um, like it's a lot easier being friends with somebody that you're not attracted to at all. It's 1,000% easier doing that. Um, but even somebody that you are attracted to, being friends with somebody, um, it's still an option, but you have to really check yourself and really know where are you in that perspective or in that mode. Because if you're not doing if you're doing a disservice to yourself or to that person, then it's not a legitimate friendship. And so what Ralph was saying is what you place a value on. Like if you value that person, if you value that friendship, that's then hold that. That means more than this person being pretty, because honestly, there's 1,001 pretty people you fucking see every day. Like it is what that is, you know. And even with that, like like pay, being genuine to yourself, being genuine to your relationship, and that means relationships in terms of friendships, dating, associates, whatever. Being genuine to um, those those matter more than anything else. So that's my little 2 cents to that one. I can still be on. I'm still on the call. I can do this and work at the same time.
No doubt.
Derek,
Tiffany,
can
you
I,
there? You
can
there,
I chime
Tiff?
in?
It's your
Yeah, let
first.
me let me chime in here
Go
real
ahead,
quick.
Tiff.
Um, as far as that, I feel like the key word here is boundaries. Because you can be honest with somebody, you could have attraction, but if you, man, that's a tough one because you're gonna get your feelings hurt. Like if you're gonna sit here and tell me that you feeling me or whatever, you like me, and I'm just like, yeah, but I don't. But let me tell you about myself, and I'm sitting here talking about things that you're not gonna like. You're not gonna want to be my friend.
Like, gotta be
You know what I'm
honest
saying?
with you, 100%.
Yeah, you're not gonna be. It's
100%.
it's hard. Like if there's attraction there, I just feel like people who have different types of attraction. Like you could be attracted to somebody's mind, you could be attracted to their spirit. You could be attracted physically to them. It's just different things. So it's like it depends on the person and the maturity, I guess, the level of it. Or people how you can handle it because there are friendships where a male and female can work, and then there are some where it's like y'all need to like really respect the boundaries of what it is, and especially if that person has somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna be on the phone with like none of my homeboys till like 2, 3 in the morning. Like, no, that's crazy. If I gotta do
Agree.
like no, that's wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I'll let you during the day. You know what I'm saying? If anything like that, like nah. So
Thanks for your 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, no, she's right though, because I'll tell you one thing. Like, I'm not if I want you physically, you are not my friend. Because if I feel like that, you cannot be talking to me about dudes. I don't want to hear none of that. Like, I don't want to be like if I like you like that, like I don't want to hear nothing about none of that. Like,
So what about, not that I want you physically, but I do see I can see you're pretty. I can see you're beautiful. I can see.
Now
I'm
that's
not
different.
blind. I can see it. I can tell
okay,
you are a beautiful woman.
I think
That's
ultimately in
different.
friendships, when you care about a person, you're gonna ultimately find them attractive, even if they were unattractive in the first place. And there's a
oh
difference
yeah,
between
in some facet, 100%,
there's
yeah,
a difference between finding somebody attractive and then
yeah,
being
sexually
attracted to
attracted,
somebody.
right? Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Right,
One
yeah,
hundred
yeah.
Right.
percent.
And that's what
Um,
I mean. Like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That's
talking strictly attracted to them.
yeah. Like I feel like I'm like a guy's girl. I grew up with brothers and stuff, so I have a lot of male friends. But I have also been put in situations where I had to like pull the when they try to like dump
Right.
feelings and then create distance.
Right.
And that, you know, that sucks, but like we live in today's world, it's gonna happen. But to say that they cannot be friends, is difficult. But to your point with saying to be attracted to somebody, I'm not being friends with people that I'm attracted to. And in the bounds of a relationship, well, if I was single, you know, then okay, as a single person, the possibilities are endless, right? So like our friendship could evolve to something. That's me and Danny started out as friends.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was going to say that next. I was going to say
this, and I can say this, I was not attracted to Danny. Danny was not my type when we started dating. And it was our friendship that allowed that to evolve. And then I do have friendships with males that are wonderful, healthy friendships. I'm like little sister. They're always hyping me up and they say, oh, you're so beautiful. But they've also been people that have like taught me how to treat myself, you know, and taught me how to like big brother figures. And that's a beautiful thing for a woman to have if she is a guy's girl. Like I got into my girl stage in my late 20s. Now I love my women, but I didn't grow up like that because I grew up with two brothers. So, but yeah, I think that if you're just being friends and you're attracted to somebody, I think you can meet somebody, fall in, you know, really enjoy their company and evolve. Like, okay, their attraction isn't the biggest thing they have to offer. And actually, I like their sense of humor. And I wouldn't want that sense of humor in somebody I'm with because it's a little, you know, crude or whatever. But I fuck with you. I love people like that. And I don't make my friends list to be like only unattractive people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, there's a difference between being, you know, someone who's that you admit is attractive versus someone that you're attracted to, and like that was the whole thing. But go ahead,
And I
Paul.
just feel like you can't be friends if somebody is attracted to you. Like if they're attracted to you, I'm telling you, like it's never gonna work because they're gonna be too emotional. They're gonna always be in their head. They're gonna jeopardize the friendship. Like they're gonna feel some type of way. They're gonna throw in little sniper remarks here and there, and it's
No,
never gonna work.
now, I think that's different. I think that's where you're crossing. That's when someone's crossing the line. If they're, even though they're attracted, you have to have some kind of self-control and maturity to not keep pushing the issue. And I think that's where that's going, where someone's keeps saying, I like you, I want you, whether I know you got a man or whatever, I know we friends, you're not respecting the friendship at that point.
And you gotta be mature. You gotta be mature enough to use your voice and say, yo, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And start to create that distance. And sometimes that's the price you pay when you want to put your feelings out there.
And like Tiffany said, you're gonna get your feelings hurt. Like
it's not easy for the person either that does have the feelings, you know, and you know, sometimes they may have really just like really kicked it with this person because they were cool and they find themselves, you know, falling into feelings for this person. And sometimes that could evolve into a beautiful place. Now we're talking about something different when we're talking about it's one-sided, because that wasn't the original situation.
Right.
When it's one-sided, which I said, like I've had circumstances like that, you got to be okay to use your voice and say, that's not how I feel about you. And and the friendship probably can't go on beyond that. Like, and I don't think it can.
But the problem is that not only my opinion, but also some of the studies that females who underperceive things are also very naive to the fact that the amount of guys who actually do find them attractive and want more, but also it falls on us as men because a lot of men, as Jarrell's point earlier, are not honest with their intentions. Mm-hmm. So they're like, oh, I'm gonna get that, but I'll play the friend role for right now. But eventually, whether her man mess up or this what happens, or you know she missed this way, like it still pops off. A lot of men don't admit their intentions, so a lot of men are walking around, and females think we're your friends, and a lot of us aren't your friends. But it's up to the man to be honest with that, and that's the thing. Like I keep it a buck. But
we're talking now we're talking emotional intelligence, right? Because the woman that thinks a man isn't looking at her is naive, and that's low emotional intelligence. And a man that can't get in touch with himself to know he really wants to fuck his friend is also emotionally unintelligent. And also a man that wants to ultimately get to the place where he gets to fuck this girl and is sitting there waiting around, he's a fucking bozo. Mm-hmm. Like he does. So if that reveals itself over time, like that's too bad. But you're dealing with two emotionally unintelligent people. I think everybody in this call is like in their 30s or older. we're talking about our intention, the way that like we function now as people.
And beautiful,
right?
by the way. And beautiful. Just throwing that in
What was
there.
that?
I said and beautiful. Just throwing that in
So
there.
John, let me ask you: are you not attracted to none of your female friends?
Well, one, I honestly don't. I grew up when I was younger and had female acquaintances, but I don't throw around that friend word a lot in general.
So now we're
I
getting
have
into
very few
semantics then.
friends.
So now we have to
So
break down what do you
So
consider
to
a
answer your
friend.
question though, to answer your questions, I don't really have a lot of female friends. I have female acquaintances. I don't have any female friends that are friends that I consider a friend that I'm attracted to, in my personal opinion. Anyone that I have, I've told them like they know my flirting is intentional. My actions are intentional, and they're people I've known forever. Like it's never been where it's like, oh, I think John might have a thing. No, either I do or you don't. Like there's no no facade there.
But now you added a little element to the mix now because now you're separating friends and acquaintances, and now you're getting into real specific pockets.
Well, I'm saying I'm just saying I don't have female, like I don't have a lot of female friends. I have acquaintances that I'm cool with, and I have females that I'm attracted to. There's a difference. They're in different boats. I would never there's never a girl that I'm attracted to that I'd be like, oh my gosh, she's just a friend. To me, if I'm attracted to her, she's just a friend with potential, and I make sure that's very clear and known at the same time.
Gotcha.
Damn, that sucks though.
Steph, you had mentioned, basically like how you and your husband's relationship, you started out as friends, so your intentions weren't initially to become what you guys are today, but here we are. First off, I want to ask the ladies, what do you get attracted to first? Because John kind of opened up the floor when he said friends and acquaintances. So there's levels to obviously what it is attraction. There's levels to friendship. So ladies, I want to get your perspective on this first. What are you attracted to first? So
somebody that likes the same music as me.
Okay, so the musical connection is where you vibe off of. Tiff, what about you?
I mean, it depends. It depends. Like for me, because you're not gonna know the person up front. So the attraction for me is gonna be like smile. Like the smile is the deal breaker for me. Like I appreciate a smile, a good smile. So that would capture me first before I get to know we got similar taste in music or you know what I mean. So it's definitely gonna be the smile.
Okay. So fellas, let me get it from y'all. What are you first initially attracted to?
And what kind of attraction are we talking about?
So again, that's what we're getting at. The attraction, just what attracts you to the opposite sex.
I saw Rel having like that Drewski moment. So what you mean by that?
What you mean by that? He's like, because I see that big. It's like, oh, I need that. but what? Just if anything, like what?
Because like to Tiff's point, like I don't know. I mean, I'm just seeing you for the first time. I don't know anything about you, so there is gonna be that physical component of it. You know what I'm saying? So like the physicality of it is what's gonna visually attract me to you, whatever the case may be. Now that goes but so far though,
Right.
So beyond.
And to some people, the physical isn't what does it. Sometimes it's a conversation. Sometimes it's a moment. Sometimes it's you too, me too. Oh snap! I like.
See, that's what keeps it for me. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it'll be like, oh, that's dope. So that's like okay, then that's fine. But then like something gotta keep it. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't just gonna be like, oh, I'm happy that she tough. So that's it. She in there. Like I'll deal with the rest of it. Nah, that's not what it is. At all. Like that'll get me. Like that'll perk my eyes up. But like once I start speaking to you, it could go left real quick, and I'll still believe that you are bad as I don't know what. But I won't want you around me. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that's just that attraction. But for me, I really love individuality when it comes to women. Like I like when your ideas are just about who you are. You're concerned about you. You're not really concerned about how everybody views you, what society's doing. What it's like. This is what I believe. I make my decisions based on that. My values. It could be total opposite of everyone else, and I'm okay with that. Like I love people who know who they are, and that's like one of my biggest draws.
John, what about you?
It all depends. If you're talking physically, it's to me it's eyes. It's eyes. Not necessarily the color of your eyes, because it's the way you look at me. Your eyes tell me more than anything else. Like the way you look at me. I don't really like the color of your eyes is nice. That makes things, nicer. Being someone myself who has light eyes, like I get it. But the way you look at me. But then when it breaks down from there, it's all about personality. Like, kind of like what Ro was saying. Like, what do you have to say? What are you into? Like, what is it? Are you just a clone of every other person? Where like, oh, I like this and I like this and this is what I do, or is it like where are you an individual and where do you differ from everybody else when you break down to it? But at first, because obviously it's all physical, like at least in my opinion, and this is my breakdown of things. Even before when I was saying like acquaintance and friends, when I first see a female, my single John, when I first see a female, my first thought is, all right, am I attracted to them? And do I want it to go beyond that point? Or is there no attraction and they're going to be one of the homies? And that's my first thought. Like when you first see a female, you're like, oh, I'm attracted to this person. Or I'm not. If you're attracted to them or not.
And I think that's the difference maker in
the friendship.
Yes.
Which reminds me, like I said, when we get to it later, I got some questions. But
okay.
But so that's my thing. But definitely the eyes. The way you look at me matters more than anything else.
Okay.
Like you can see a lot in those eyes.
Jared, what about you? The eyes, Chico.
The eyes, Chico. Thanks.
Jared, what's your initial point of attraction?
That ass.
Ass and titties. Ass and titties. Ass and titties. Oh, my fault.
I mean, that and eyes. But that and eyes. There's something comforting in looking at somebody's eyes and, and it sets to you. So, eyes definitely matter.
So now I want to talk about the levels of friendship, basically, because you, like I said, you added the element of friendships, acquaintances, so forth and so forth. So John, you said you have plenty of acquaintances that you are attracted to, but you can be around, but that's it. Like, is that what you mean by that? But as far as the friendship level,
I wanted to ask you that. You said you have acquaintances. Are you physically attracted to any of the acquaintances that friends?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
So as far as that,
I keep it a buck. Like,
so what is that acquaintance? Like, what is the difference to you between an acquaintance and a friend?
What?
What's the difference to you between an acquaintance and a friend?
It spins back to Jarrell's point. If I find you physically attractive, then I want more than a friendship. So you can never really be my friend.
Okay, but you could be an acquaintance.
You could be an acquaintance. However, it depends.
So that's your friend zone.
What?
Acquaintances is your friend zone.
Because if I look at you like a sister, then there's no physical attraction because that's disgusting. I can't say you my sister and I find you physically attractive. That's disgusting. Like this.
So is that above friendship or is that?
What about?
Go ahead,
what about? Okay, so what about the situation of like? Because I believe there can be an attraction with a friend and a friend. It just wrong time. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're still cool. They check in. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all love. It just maybe the timing or the distance between it kind of just interrupts them actually being together.
Mm-hmm.
That's still not my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Because that means when the opportunity arises, it's gonna pop.
Yeah.
But why not?
End,
why can't that be your friend?
But what I'm saying is like I believe you can, because like I said, as long as there's boundaries and set, like, you know what I'm saying? Like if they both express like, you know what, damn, like I do like you. I would like to you know what I'm saying? I could see a future with you, but hey, you live over there, I live over here. Due to certain situations, you know what I'm saying? But you can still check in.
Communicate.
Yeah, you can still check in without it being like, you know what I'm saying, and still have any attraction for someone, but you're not gonna be like my best friend. You know what I'm saying?
There's boundaries of respect, but so for instance,
because he was talking about levels, like
So if person A is like me, and I like, but person A is in New York, and person B is in Canada or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. Like we have boundaries of respect until person B gets their ass to New York, and then it's different because
that's why
now the boundary of respect part is if person B has a relationship, then I gotta respect that. Or if person A is in a relationship, you gotta respect that. But if the opportunity arises that neither one's in a relationship and the attraction is there, then why is it not gonna pop?
Because at that point, you just might not want to, or like I said, it could be any other circumstance. At that
Like you don't
point,
want to because you lost attraction, or like why?
there's even a point where someone could have been friends and tried that relationship thing, and then it didn't work, and now we just on a friendship level.
Yeah.
But we know we're better off as friends.
That can work as long as everybody's honest and the boundaries. That can
absolutely, and that's what it comes down
That's
to.
different.
I believe, like Steph said, the emotional intelligence. If you could be able to handle, I am attracted to you. We tried that or whatever it may be, but this is what we are. This is what is better off as, and this is what it is.
I feel like that can work.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But they still tried it first, so there was something there.
Well,
it wasn't like they were just friends and that's it.
There, and then you, but again, it's still there. It's just we just it's better off as friends. So you know what I'm saying? Because we clash or whatever it may be. The attraction is still there though. It's still an attraction, but we friends.
Like the way I look at it, like for you to be a female and be my friend, and I don't find you attractive, we must have a lot in common. We both like sports. We both like
whatever
there's
the
something
reason.
we have in common.
So it is possible. I think we got to. It is possible.
No, I just said if I didn't find you attractive.
No, that's you find them attractive.
So here's my thing. If I find you attractive, I'm constantly gonna flirt with you. Like I'm gonna flirt with you.
Even in a relationship? Even if you're in a relationship?
Oh, I'm a piece of shit. Like you know that. Like Paul. Like you want honesty. Like
of course. Of course.
So yeah. But now my flirting level and degree is way more respectful. But you're still gonna get the look. You're still gonna get the smile. Like you're still gonna get the little the John. You're just not gonna get full on if you were single. So it's different. It's different. But I'm still gonna be like I'm not gonna not be me. I'm not gonna not find you attractive and act like nah, she got a man, so a bag's on her face. Nah, she's still bad.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it.
But like I said, I think we can acknowledge the bad and still leave it at that.
Go ahead, Steph. I got a question for you too, though. So go ahead.
Go ahead, Steph.
All right, no, so perfect. So are we really? I really want to know. I really want to make sure I'm speaking to it correctly. So I could say, Tiffany, you're a guy, okay? I'm a girl. We meet each other at work, baby.
I like where this is going.
We meet Tiffany. No, I'm just kidding. But
yeah, what's up? Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, what's up?
Like me and her, we meet, we connect on dope ass levels. Over time, she starts to think I'm a really pretty
telling her she's
girl.
fine and all that.
Are you supposed to dead the friendship with me, even though we both like sushi and we spend time with each other and we connect?
But did you tell me I was fine?
I would for you, but
yeah, I like where this is going. Continue.
No, but do you feel me? Like I think that there's that. Okay, so to John's point, I was thinking about this on the break. I do have attractive friends. I'm not into that pretty boy, and there are men that are. I mean, super attractive guys in my life. Super attractive. They're not my thing. They're very attractive men. They're not my thing, and I get such beautiful value out of those relationships that if the threshold of how deep our friendship could go is whether or not I find you attractive, I could be missing out on something wonderful, and so can that person. I think that I think it comes down to self-control. Now I do with John's approach, I hear a lot of like the Steve Harvey approach, because Steve Harvey will say things like, men only want to know you're either going to be fuckable, marry, or you're a tree monster. And it's like, that's not always the case. Like, I think...
Tree monster.
Swamp Thing, get over there. Only got ugly female friends, that's it.
No, but you get what I'm saying? And like, for me to expect Danny to have women that are friends that are only unattractive, I rejoice in the presence of beautiful women.
But it's not being unattractive. It's being attracted to. You could admit someone's attractive and not be attracted to them. There's people that I think are attractive, but I'm not attracted to them.
Yeah, but
so
then
that's
where the conversation
the difference is you being attracted to. That's what changes the whole dynamic.
Nah, you're gonna have to dumb that down for me because that.
But that's what I'm saying. I think we're going into too much of a specificity.
All right, so I'm gonna break it down.
If there is an attraction to them, you are attracted to them, but you're not going that next step.
Well, no. Like so, for instance,
a clear difference.
Paul, my fault. For instance, Paul, like in our group chat with Otto, like he talks about Sydney Sweeney, whatever her name is, all the time. I can admit that's an attractive female. She does nothing for me.
But would you take it down? But would you take it down?
Again, Paul, let's go
But
back
would
to
you take it down?
Absolutely.
So there is an attraction. So all the semantics is irrelevant. You making the bubble too specific to make the point where
I think
there's
there's
an
a lot of
attraction.
nuance.
She got tig old bitties. She got a cute face. There is a physical attraction.
I just think there's such a gray area when it comes to the attraction for the opposite, you know, from what you are versus, and then the friend portion. Like, I think the situation is like the friendship
Hey,
piece
good
is
night, babe.
very important in general. You know what I'm saying? I think
I
to
agree.
either get to know someone just period, whether it goes further than the friendship or not, you know what I'm saying? The friendship piece is very important. And I think the opposite sex gets very scared when it comes to that word because they don't want to be friend zoned. But you could be my friend, and maybe I am just not ready in general. I'm not the person I need to be in order to match you if you're really trying to rock with me on that level. You know what I'm saying? And I think people just get so terrified of that word friend because they
Y'all
get
remember
stuck
House
there.
Party? Y'all
You know
remember
what I
that
mean?
scene when Kid was with Sydney? And she was
First
like, "What do
order
you
for
want? Where you want to go with from this?" And he was like, "You know, if you're asking me how I feel about between you and Shireen," and he was like, "You, I see as a friend." And then she sat back like, "Damn, he just friends on me." But then he said, "But I feel if I'm gonna be with someone, we should be lovers as well as friends." And she was instantly wet. He got them draws, y'all. But he was honest with her and he said, like, "Listen, Shireen, I looked at her, I just want to smash. I just want to hit that. Like, that's all I really want. But you, I want something more. And for us to be more, there should be a level of friendship. We should be able to be friends and lovers and grow from there because we have to have some kind of a bond beyond just that. You know what I'm saying? Because for her, I just want to, that's it. So that scene came to my mind when you said that. Like,
the one thing that I don't think will work is if you were friends and then y'all fucked and then y'all just trying to just be friends again, like y'all wasn't just
it
up
can
in each other's
happen.
skin.
It just depends
That's
on the
a tough
emotional
one.
intelligence. It depends on the
That's a tough
maturity of the
one. That's
person.
a tough one.
I'm
That
not
is
with
a
that.
tough one.
I'm not with that.
Because respectfully, even if you like get serious with somebody else, like I'm not gonna have you dapping my nigga up in his face and shit like that. Like that's
no,
crazy.
absolutely.
That's crazy.
So full circle. What if Meagan and Michael Ealy did something?
And
Does that change your perspective on that hug?
Yeah, like she literally like jumped into his arms. Like hell no, like he just came home from a night of work and was ready to just eat dinner with her. Like no, that's crazy.
So Tiff, you had just popped in on the end of that conversation, so that's why I brought that back.
That was a wild concept. Like, and then you know what I'm saying? I know he felt so uncomfortable in his skin. He's sitting there watching his shorty jump in the air to this man's arms. Like, come on now, that's a sick concept right there. That she OD'd a little bit too much for my taste. Like.
Agreed.
Wait till
Like I say,
she watched me and Jarrell hash out our friendship on the camera.
So yeah, Tim, like I said, you missed that conversation, but Rel and Steph be doing that. Rel be having her in the air, come on, wee!
Okay, put the legs back.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah, y'all be doing the whole dirty dancing scene.
Oh, but also I wanted to say something just to put a blanket clarification real quick. It's different between finding somebody attractive and then, or being attracted to somebody, say, and then catching feelings for them.
The feelings
I think
part
a lot
is...
of what John is speaking to is when you, I think, start to catch feelings. But otherwise, I think that you could ride that line better. And if you can't, that, like I said, if you can't and you're just waiting in the cut to see when that girl gets single or when the opportunity presents itself, and if it organically presents itself and y'all kiss and it don't rock, like, then you just leave it alone. And if it does, then maybe something beautiful develops. But you could be losing out on so much by being like, I can't keep any friends that I have even a possibility of being attracted to. You know?
They respectfully, but there's a reason why they say a shoulder to cry on becomes a dick to ride on. Because if the attraction is there, it's gonna pop.
But that could happen without the attraction. What man not gonna let her ride on some
right? Honestly, that can happen just because you caught shorty in a weak moment, like she want to feel good, like this monster ball or something. Like, get out of here.
Dudes be doing that with chicks that's not attractive every day.
That's what I'm saying.
Y'all probably think that I'm not telling the truth, but like that shit would not rock with. Like if Steph was some wild shit happened with her and Danny and she cried, like I'm not like I like it's. And it don't have nothing to do.
You're not wiping her tears with your drawers, is what you're saying.
Right.
And it has nothing to do.
But
with
respectfully, respectfully, that's Steph. So I don't want to use Steph. But one of your other homegirls, do you find one of your homegirls attractive?
Do I find any of my homegirls attractive?
No.
He's talking
about
girl.
Oh.
No, I mean, I don't. What I mean by that is, I'm more or less what you were saying. I'm not attracted to them. Like, I definitely see them as beautiful, 100%. But am I like if they were to give me opportunity to do anything, I would not be with it. I'd be like, what are you doing? Like,
but you don't find them attractive. So to Tiff's point, if it was a girl you found attractive, would you wipe her tears with your drawers? If you found them attractive,
yeah, but she would not think I'm her friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, right.
So basically, bro, you're not a like a dog like that. Like you don't have intentions of being homies with the girls just to get in their drawers or nothing like that. Like if you really feeling her and you want to be her friend, and then you want to be honest and let her know, like, hey, I like you. I love our friendship. However, like you're just gonna be a friend.
Yeah, like my thing is, if I would fuck you, then you're not my friend. Like that's really like if given the opportunity, I would take that opportunity regardless what it was about, whether you were in a vulnerable state, whether you like then, and I'm not saying that you ain't shit, but you're just not my friend. That's not what I would call that. That's all I was saying.
So what about over time?
Hold on. Because in that scenario right there, see, in that regard, I'm a little bit different off because I can still. I'm not giving away anybody's details, but there's somebody that I can still be friends with, even though I did sleep with. And hold on. I still would absolutely be that person's friend to the absolute end, unbiasedly. Still have that like. So there are levels to that too.
But if they gave you another chance to hit, would you hit?
About to say, will you continue? Like, let's say if
they gave you another chance,
right? Yeah.
Don't turn around.
Well, friends with benefits is a thing.
Yeah, there's so much nuance.
Friends with benefits is a real thing.
Benefits is a myth, bro.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
The niggas ain't friends.
Again, back to Steph's point with the emotional intelligence. Yes, there is a time where one or the other or both can catch feelings, but there is a lot of friends with benefit situations where it just works. We both understand what it is, and that's what it is. It happens.
I don't think y'all are friends, bro. Like
I agree with you.
I might be splitting hairs with terms.
But see, that's what I said. But see, that's why I said I think it's different scenarios in a situation where you guys could be friends and maybe you had the attraction and y'all did maybe have sex. It's just the timing and the wrong place. You know, like that's the thing. Like I would still reach out to that person, like I still care about that person, like just because maybe you know what I'm saying. But
that's what I meant. That don't mean you ain't shit or something like that. You still could care about the person. I'm just like that space is just sacred for me. So
okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like
okay.
You know.
So I did have a question for Steph though.
Oh, go ahead.
So I was just curious because you said you and Danny were friends first, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long were you guys friends before you guys became a couple?
You guys want to hear the story? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. And we met in college. But the way it happened was we had class for a semester. We sat next to each other. We started kind of talking back and forth. I found out he knew people that were going to my going away party because I was moving back to New York. But that's when I met all these clowns. And then I invited him to the party, and we had the first kiss at the party. I moved to New York. We stayed in contact. I moved back down.
Okay, so
how long were you friends though? Because it sounded like that was
3 months?
A motive to get to the person, like
3-4 months.
Okay, so wait, so you were friends for 3-4 months?
3-4. Well, no, not really. More like until we started dating like a year. But me and Danny have a very different setup story.
Well,
if you guys knew.
Here's my question though. You said that he's not really your type and that you thought it was just friends right away, right? But do you think you were Danny's type and he automatically had those feelings for you?
Let me think. Who was the aggressor? It was very mutual, very organic, and I think that's the beauty of not overthinking everything, because it was very organic. We won a game of beer pong. We were drunk. It was my going away party. I was leaving, so we just looked at each other, and he kissed me, and now I'm married to him with his 13-year-old kid, and I moved away. So You know, sometimes, like I said, there's a lot of nuance because Danny was not. And you know what? Let me tell you guys something.
But were you Danny's type? That's what I meant.
It goes
Were you his
to
type?
Danny has had he has had like a variety of women. Not all of them look like me. I would think that I'm somebody that he would probably find.
Basically, at the end of the day, all of them is irrelevant. It's not her, so it don't matter.
I think that generally speaking, like, okay, so I'll say this. I think I'm an attractive girl. I don't think a lot of men are gonna be like, oh, hell no, not Stephanie. So but I also don't think I should be hexed from having friendships with men because I'm a dope chick and I have the emotional intelligence to manage that, and I will be able to manage. And I can say this, and Jarrell, I think you could speak to this. I can manage people with kid gloves, not make them feel bad, not hurt their feelings, and get my message across very concise and very clearly, but with maintaining the dignity of the situation. So I don't think Danny is not. I was definitely more the aggressor. I was definitely more free-spirited than he was back then. I think that I kind of left a door open and he took his shot, and I said, hey, let's do it. And that's the way that went, you know? So that's where that goes. But we were friends first, and we developed a really good friendship because it was 4 months before the kiss, but then we started dating probably like 9 months after that. So
Again, I was just curious on how it worked with because again, like guys being friends but finding females attractive is kind of the whole point of what we were talking about. So it's like you guys being friends and to get together, I assume he found you attractive.
So something really funny that I was gonna bring up though, because it kind of speaks to the situation is oftentimes I really do feel the person you end up with is oftentimes not going to be your type. It's gonna be kind of somebody that drops out of nowhere. So I remember, and this is just the idea to the nuance of it all. So me and Danny caught feelings. There was a picture on my phone of me and him like pop kissing or something like that. It was a close picture. I was in an abusive relationship after that with somebody from the past. So it happened when me and this person were not together. He saw the picture of Danny, and when this man that I was with at the time he has gotten at me so much worse for way worse. He told me, he's like, tell me the truth about this guy. Okay. And I remember telling him, like, you know, there's nothing going on. I kissed him once, and he's like, I have a bad feeling about him. And it turned out that I ended up being with him, you know, and this is no homage to the other guy whatsoever, because the truth is, I think that there were men that I would have normally found attractive, that he would have just flipped his shit, but then let it go. But because he was like, there's something about this guy, because this isn't the guy you would normally be around. Like, what's going on here? So the fact that I wasn't attracted to him, or he wasn't normally my type, was what really, like, and you could tell, like, when he saw that picture of me and Danny, that man could tell, like, we were finished. He knew that I was leaving, and I was leaving to be with the man that I was going to be with forever. And I, to this day, really do believe that he thought that. And I think a big tell was because we had that, it wasn't just straight up off of attraction. You know, I could keep men that I'm attracted to around me, but sometimes there's people that supersede that attraction. It's something a lot deeper. So, you know, the attraction's not the biggest thing. You could find yourself caught up with somebody that you would have never thought you would be with, and then they turn into the most beautiful person in the world, you know? And that energy is so strong.
That was beautiful.
I know, that was a stop.
that sounded like a rom-com. we need to get that on the script and make a movie out of that. That's such a beautiful rom-com.
It's my gift of gab. Ask bro.
Jared, is that you?
But bro, how dope?
Music.
How dope were my vows, bro? Because I did that shit off the dome and you saw it. How good were me and Danny's vows at that wedding?
That's what's up. That's what's up. So I think we all, you know, still hold to our opinions on it. John's got the science and the MIT and Neil deGrasse Tyson stats.
I think if you play it back, I think that it was almost unanimous that if you're attracted,
no,
can't be friends.
No, not all.
Yeah. Look at the heads.
It was split. It's
Tiff,
me.
Steph,
Jared said he's able to do it. Tiffany said there's levels.
No. Gerald said no. Steph agrees, and so does Tiff. 3-2.
I said Jared, and Tiffany said there's levels. She said she could. Tiffany said she slept with somebody, can still be friends with them. She said it's levels to it. She said she can do it. It's split.
I think I play your video back.
It's split. Your science is 50-50 right now. It's split.
I do think that I'm the more radical person, and I kind of stand alone on one point of view. But I think the thing we're getting caught up in, and this is where I think I stand. There is a difference between finding somebody to be attractive or even being attracted to, like, damn, he's fine, and then catching feelings. I think the catching feelings thing,
the feelings
is
part,
a hard no.
I agree.
That's a hard no, but I'm not catching feelings for everybody I think is sexy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's straight up. I don't want to sleep with everybody that I'm attracted to.
And speaking to Tiffany's point, that's why she was saying too, the feelings is what could mess it up, because she said dudes will get their feelings hurt if they keep pledging their love to her, and she's like, dude, we're not doing it.
But do you see the game on Tiffany? Tiffany, like, she almost slid me out of my shirt on this video call when she's like, what's good, girl? Like, Tiffany got so much game. Tiffany act like that because she knows who she is. Like,
it can happen.
She's so fine.
Listen, like I said, we'll leave it there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's watching, comment below. Let us know what you think. Please chime in on this conversation. I would love to hear more. More people's experiences. Those that have been on either side of the coin. I think, like I said, I think it's up to the person. I think it's, it just depends on the maturity level of, having that restraint to even just be friends with someone and being able to handle, because like I said, you don't have to be with everyone. You don't have to, get it. But sometimes a friendship can be valued, and you can get the equity from just being friends with someone. And like me having, the ladies on this call and giving their perspective of things, I reach out to them just to get their point of view on all of these topics, and I respect their point of view on it. And I think they're all beautiful. You know what I mean? But
I think the nuance that John added about, though, being attractive was very important, because there's a lot of people who just feel that men and women, period, like regardless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that was Steve Harvey's point.
I mean, it's a blessing, true enough, but really, it was just me sitting down being honest. All of my friends are men. I don't have female friends. I don't. I'm incapable of that.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, because come on.
Because you have a wife.
Well, I have a wife, and I don't really have female friends because look. Okay, let's get rid of this myth right here. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. Let's get rid of this right here. You're an attractive woman. There's some guy somewhere saying, "Yeah, we're friends." No, that's not true. He's your friend only because you have made it absolutely clear that nothing else is happening except this friendship we have. We remain your friends in hopes that one day there'll be a crack in the door, a chink in the armor, and trust and believe that guy that you think is just your buddy, he will slide in that crack the moment he gets the opportunity.
Because we're guys. Men think this way?
99.9% of us think that way. And you tell this to a woman and it just blows her back. No, I have male friends. You have male friends because they know it can be nothing else right now. I tell you what, all your male friends, just ask them in a friendly way. If I wanted to date you, would you be okay with that? And watch the fireworks.
And I think that's definitely not the case.
And like I said, I can even to the specificity of attracted to. Yes, I am attracted to women that I am friends with. I have no problem with that. Will we sleep with each other? I don't know. Because I can't just say, yes, I would. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I'm 40-something years old. I ain't got time for all that right now. I'm just like, it is what it is. We might just be friends. And like I said, I've had relationships where we did try that, and we just was better off as friends. And we can still be friends to this day. We still are friends to this day. Shout out to you. Leave it at that. I think, I can handle that. Because again, the emotions and the feelings are not, oh, word, you with that dude now? Okay, I could have been your one. Like, nah.
Yep, I don't get like that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not built like that, and I don't need to, be with every woman that I know. I'm cool with that.
Jarrell, how you think they would feel if they saw like our videos from joysticks when our song comes on and stuff? They'd be like, "Yo, get Danny!
Listen,
get Danny!"
I'm starting the rumor. When Rel sees you, he's got you in the air like Dirty Dancing. He's just swinging you around, going wee.
But that's the thing. It's like
the video's about to end. We got to wrap it up there. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We'll see you the next time. The conversation continues. Later, peoples.